Hey tubes. Well, today I'm working on another lawnmower, and this is a Briggs and Stratton 3.5 horsepower, and it's making a terrible screeching sound as soon as it starts up. So I think we're going to investigate that and see what we find. I'm just going to prime it. It's not. I'm going to prime it with my little priming oil can that I made, and we'll just show you what's going on. The mower is not running at this time. It needs to have the carburetor cleaned, so maybe I'll do that in part 2 or in a different video. And I'll just show you what's up. This is my priming oil can. It's got 10% two-stroke oil and 90% gasoline, and it just works great for priming these motors, because then you get a little bit of oil in with the gasoline and lubricates the top end of the motor. And it works pretty good. So hopefully this thing will do what I think it's going to do, and we'll get you lined up and give you a little demo before we get going. That'll work. Excuse me. Well, that says it all, doesn't it? So we'll put it on the lawnmower lift and carry on from there. So now I'm going to take the rewind off, and I'm going to take the gas tank and the carburetor off. They're actually one unit on this particular lawnmower, and we'll get going. Now this should just lift off. Good. So this is just a normal rewind. The rope is frayed, so I'm going to replace the rope at the end of the job. So now I'm going to, this is a rewind. I think that's what's screeching right there. It's a ratchet. Goes around and around. And we'll take those 2 1/4-inch bolts off. And then we'll take the, whoops, I'm so bad at that. We'll take the ratchet off. So I'll be right, I'll come back in a bit. Alright guys, I just took this off my 1/4-inch nut driver. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, with the brake on the lawnmower, I'm just going to tap this in a counterclockwise direction carefully. I wonder if it's coming. This is an oil filter wrench, that might work too. Got to be careful because these fins are aluminum. There we go. So what I expect is happening is much like these are like the old rototillers, and this shaft spins inside this hole here, and it's gone dry, and it's just screeching inside there because it's gone dry. There's actually a piece of felt inside the bottom of this hole. So now I'm going to get some sandpaper. I'm going to polish this up, and we're going to see if we can get this cleaned out in here. And that's our problem. That's what's making it screech, I think. Uh-oh. Okay. I just almost lost the ball bearings out of there, but that's okay. Alright, I got a piece of 220 grit here. It's fairly rough. See, there's no screech in there. Let's take the plug out. Then we can spin the motor over as freely as we want to. Look at that. Totally corroded. Well, that's the fun part of working on these motors. Okay, let's see if it squeals without the rewind on there, or without the rewind clutch. That sounds exactly what we want. Great. So now I'm going to take a finer piece of sandpaper and just keep working that. First was 220, now this is this 400 or 600? Anyway, I'll just keep working my way up. Okay, so we have this shaft really nice and clean and polished. I ended up using a 220, then a 400, then a 600 on there. And now I've got, dropped my watch. So now I am doing the 220 on the inside of this one here. It's not going as well as I'd hoped. Oh yeah. Whoops, piece of my rubber glove in there. I'm using a drill bit, it's just a little smaller than the hole. Keep working a fresh piece of sandpaper into it. Well, that's going to have to do. Now I'm going to clean it up on the grinder, not on the grinder, but on the grinder brush. Take the rust spots off, and I'll come back in a bit. Okay guys, I've cleaned this up. This is how this works. There's 5 ball bearings in there, and they catch just like a ratchet. I've cleaned up the outside of it and the inside, and now I'm ready to place the cover on. Whoops. Coming down onto that like that. I'm just going to use the vise to squeeze that together, and then we're going to put it back on the shaft. I'm going to put some oil in here, and there's a piece of felt in the bottom. This is not the oiler that I used for the gasoline. This is an actual just 30 weight oil in here. Look at that, the oil came out the top. That's good. I'm going to reach underneath and grab the blade. So that should stop our screeching. Okay, and now we will put the screen on top. I wonder if we stopped our screech. Hi, Bruce here. Just going to put the spark plug in. I just cleaned it. It was actually very foul, but the spark plug itself was in good shape. Got gas in the tank. We've repaired the rewind clutch that was screeching so bad. So I think it's worthwhile giving it a try. Oh, and we got a new cord on the rewind too. I don't have the air cleaner on yet. There it is. It's starting to squirt. So it's going to start. It's actually squirting gas into the carburetor. We'll squeeze the bail and give her a pull. It should actually fire. I'm pretty much certain this will be a one pull start. Nope. Runs like a champ.